Thank you, Jacqueline. Good morning, everyone. I am Terry Trendler. I'm a former board member, and I have the privilege of helping with the service this morning. Come into our house of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. We welcome the certain and the seeking, the long-timers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted. All of you can find a home here at Throop, where we go love the world from the heart of Pasadena and from the heart of our homes. Welcome this morning to those watching on live stream. Today our minister, Reverend Tara Landers, is away, but she'll be back soon on September 2nd. Instead, we are very pleased to welcome back Reverend Liz Murphy, our guest minister. Reverend Liz, she, her pronouns, is a staff chaplain at the VA Hospital of Loma Linda, California. She's also an affiliated community minister at Orange Coast Unitarian Universalist Church in Costa Mesa. And Liz graduated from the Claremont School of Theology with a Master's of Divinity in 2020. She's also a proud former intern minister here at Throop. She's overjoyed to be returning to the Throop community this August. Originally, she's from Pittsburgh, and she now lives in Monrovia, California, with her wife, Hillary. If you are new to Throop, we would love to stay connected with you. There are information cards in the pew backs in front of you, or if you're online, we will put a link to an online guest book in the order. Welcome. We are so glad you're here. Each one of us is a light in the world. The flame from our chalice symbolizes and reflects that light. Our time in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. So as a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with love, compassion, and justice with these words from Florence Caplow. We kindle this flame, honoring the doorways to our souls, the windows through which we gaze at one another, the balconies where we catch glimpses of sky, the thresholds we stand on this morning, wondering, hoping, fearing, and dreaming. We light a second candle to honor the people and ancestors whose lands we now occupy. The land under and around Throop was once and is still the home of the Gabrielino Tongva Band of Mission Indian people. May this knowledge and awareness lead us all into seeking justice and equity for all. We light a third candle symbolizing our watershed, the Arroyo Seco. May the waters continue to nourish life in our communities. We take a moment of silence holding all of these in our hearts.
I invite you to now stand in body or spirit to sing our opening hymn, Come, Come, Whoever You Are, number 188 in the gray hymnal.
Come, come wherever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of living. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come wherever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of living. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
I invite you now to welcome one another in this space.
Come, come wherever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of living. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come
back
yet
to your pew.
again, come.
Good morning, everyone. It is so good to be back with the Throop Church community again this morning. It seems not that long ago that I was here as your intern minister, and it's so special to return today as your guest minister. Your summer worship theme is Our Journeys Home, exploring the transformation that can happen when journeying to a new place helps us make deeper meaning out of our lives. This Sunday, we'll consider the symbol of the rainbow, the ubiquitous image associated with the LGBTQ plus identity and community, drawing inspiration from the rainbow across culture and context. We'll delve into the ways we, as a people of faith, can lead the charge toward collective liberation and communal care. We will take time to honor the people, the passion, the effort that it took to bring us here now. How might we recommit to the ways we live out the promises of the rainbow, the promises of a conviction toward justice for all people, for a shared liberation, for an imagination that knows no limits, for a shared celebration of unbounded joy? So now, as we move across this threshold and into worship, I invite each of you to bring your full selves into this sacred space, to honor and to hold in love the many pieces of yourself in tenderness, and to share that tenderness with one another. Let us now share together as a community in our responsive reading. Our communal response this morning is, no one is outside the circle of love. Let's practice together. No one is outside the circle of love. As Unitarian Universalists, our journey is to transform the big and small, to transform ourselves, and to transform the world. Universalism means no one is outside the circle of love, and no one is disposable. Let us say together, no one is outside the circle of love. We stubbornly seek out the spark of the divine in each other. Interdependence means none of us is truly free until we are all free, and our thriving is bound up in the earth's thriving. Let us say together, no one is outside of the circle of love. We struggle for liberation together. Our covenants mean we make promises to our communities to honor love and justice. Let us say together, no one is outside the circle of love. And as we celebrate that statement, no one is outside the circle of love, we have a lesson and story for all ages and all people this morning called Julian is a Mermaid, written and illustrated by Jessica Love. Julian and his abuela, I think, have a powerful message of love and acceptance to share with all of us, illustrating our first UU principle of our shared belief in the inherent worth and dignity of all people. For those of you who would like a closer look, I invite you to come forward on the chancel with me and we can read together. I promise I don't bite. Come on now. Okay. All right. Take the off here. All right. So this is Julian is a Mermaid by Julian Love. This is a boy named Julian, and this is his abuela. And those are some mermaids. Julian loves mermaids. He's swimming. Yeah, all people are welcome forward. Swimming and transforming to a mermaid. Big fish. Vámonos, mijo. This is our stop. Abuela, did you see the mermaids? I was them, mijo. Abuela, I am also a mermaid. I'm going to take a bath. You be good. Julian has a good idea. See? He's changing. Oh! Uh-oh. There's Abuela. She says, "Come here, mijo." He says, "For me, Abuela?" "For you, Julian." All right. Julian says, "Where are we going?" She says, "You'll see." "Mermaids," whispers Julian. "See all the pretty people?" "See, like you, mijo. Let's join them." And they do. They're all mermaids together. Yeah, at the end. All right. Thanks for sitting with me. Anyone who wants a closer look later on, I'll leave this out for you. The illustrations are beautiful. All right. Okay. We're going to move from one story to the next here this morning. Our reading comes from theologian John O'Donohue, and it's called A Blessing for Beauty. It's once again for all people, and it reminds us of this current of love and beauty that embraces and enfolds all of us. He writes, "May the beauty of your life become more visible to you, that you may glimpse your wild divinity. May the wonders of the earth call you forth from your small secret prisons and set your feet free in the pastures of possibility. May the light of dawn anoint your eyes, that you may behold what a miracle a day is. May the liturgy of twilight shelter all your fears and darkness within the circle of ease. May the angel of memory surprise you in bleak times with new gifts from the harvest of your vanished days. May you allow no dark hand to quench the candle of hope in your heart. May you discover a new generosity towards yourself and encourage yourself to engage your life as a great adventure. May the outside voices of fear and despair find no echo in you. May you trust the urgency and wisdom of your own spirit. And may the shelter and nourishment of all the good you have done, the love you have shown, the suffering you have carried, awaken around you to bless your life 1,000 times. And when love finds the path to your door, may you open like the earth to the dawn and trust your every hidden color towards its nourishment of light. May you find enough stillness and silence to savor the kiss of the divine on your soul and delight in the eternity that shaped you, that holds you and calls you. And may you know that despite confusion, anxiety, and emptiness, your name is written in the eternal. And may you come to see your life as a quiet sacrament of service, which awakens around you a rhythm where doubt gives way to the grace of wonder, where what is awkward and strained can find elegance, and where crippled hope can find wings and torment enter at last unto the grace of serenity. May divine beauty bless you, and may it be so.
Thank you, Jacqueline. This church is our church. We support it through our gifts of time, talent, and treasure. You can give online. There'll be a link in the live stream. And if you're here in the room, Teresa will be collecting our plate in a moment. But if you would like your donation to count to your annual pledge, please use a green envelope and put your name on it. If you're a first-time visitor, please let the plate pass you by. Thank you for supporting our lives here together. The offering will now be gratefully received. In a spirit of gratitude, we lift up those who have helped us this morning with the service, Taryn, who is running our live stream for us, and Teresa, who both greeted us and just took the offering, our fantastic return visiting musician, Jacqueline, and Fillory for all the administrative paperwork. As we give thanks for the offering and all the ways that we support our Throop community, please say with me the words from your order of service. For the ministries of the church in our community, we bless our offering with love and hope. And now, even on this warmer than average day, let's think about our promise to the planet. It is also in your order of worship. Please say those words with me. As members of the family of living beings on earth, we are guided by the Unitarian Universalist principle of respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. With hearts filled with love for it, eyes nurtured by its beauty, and minds ruminating on ways to protect its sacred and scarce resources, we promise to nurture the well-being of all life and of the planet itself. Our centering hymn, you may remain seated for, is 1000 and it's behind me on the wall, 9 in the teal hymnal, a meditation on breathing.
So this hymn has several options. If you'll see, there's 3 different melodies to choose from. So if you would like to join me in choosing one melody, what I'm going to do is first sing through the drone, which is the lowest part, but it can be sung by any voice. Then we'll jump up and sing the melody, and then last I'll do the descant, which is the middle line. But what I'm going to do, so we can keep this kind of in a meditative state, is I'm just going to start, I'm going to sing the lowest part through 2 times, and then I'm going to move to the melody. But if you feel comfortable continuing with that drone, stay there, because the whole purpose of this is to find a meditative space for you in the music. And even if it's just connecting to the lyrics of a particular line, feel free to join in that way as well. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
got that 3-part melody going. Thank you, everyone. That was beautiful. And as this beautiful rendition that we just shared together of this powerful song settles into our hearts and minds, let us move into a time of sacred contemplation. This guided meditation comes from the words of the Reverend Rebecca Parker. I invite you now to find a comfortable seat and to put your hands at your side or perhaps over your heart if you need a little extra gentleness this morning. Let us take a moment to flutter our eyelids to a close, or if it's more comfortable, just gaze downward. Now let's take a deep breath in and out. Let these words settle into your heart and spirit. There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. We are bound together by this love. Let us take some time now in this meditative space to continue to ponder these words.
In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace, and I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. In the stillness of this moment there is love. There is love. In the stillness of this moment there is love. There is love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know in the stillness of this moment there is love. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace.
We'll close this time of centering with a short prayer. Spirit of life, transcendent one, we give thanks for the current of love that runs through this worship space and connects us with one another and our wider world. It is a current that binds us together during times of joy and celebration, but also times of sorrow and lament. It's an energy that calls us toward a greater imagination about how we come together in community, how we treat one another in the big and small moments, how we interact with our earth. It also reminds us that love knows no bounds. It connects through difference without flattening those things that make us, us. May it be so, blessed be, and amen. Not too long ago, my neighborhood got one of those beautiful and rare sun showers. Not during the hurricane. I don't think we had any of those. But maybe some of you got a little bit of rain too this summer. Out on my back patio, I craned my neck, trying my hardest to spot a rainbow. I didn't see one. The big apartment buildings blocked most of my view. But I like to think that it was still there, even if I didn't see it. Usually, though, rainbows are hard to miss. They're bright, they're colorful, they're special. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, the rainbow is the symbol of the LGBTQ+ liberation movement. And unfortunately, rainbow is also the symbolic target of a campaign of hatred towards a community of people. Perhaps now more than ever, it's wise for us to consider how the rainbow became this multifaceted symbol. It exists in large part thanks to activist Gilbert Baker, who grew up in Kansas. He served in the military and moved to San Francisco and became an activist and artist and learned how to sew, thanks to his time as a drag queen performer. His original rainbow flag design that flew in the 1978 Gay Freedom Parade in San Francisco. And today, the rainbow motif remains, having now taken on new permutations and designs to better reflect the community. Pride parades continue, rainbow flags flying, honoring the courageous organizing of queer and trans people of color during the Stonewall Rebellion of 1969 and beyond. Baker said he appreciated the rainbow because it reflected a beauty in diversity and difference, and I might add, had a clear connection to the work of actress and perhaps one of the original gay icons, Judy Garland. But this beauty and diversity and difference, I think, is essential to our understanding of the rainbow, but it's also a thread that connects this symbol across time, space, and culture. How might retracing these many different cultural connections to the symbol unfurl new understanding for us? How might it deepen our commitments to the original promise of the symbol? How might it illuminate a pathway for us as UUs and as people of faith to be on the forefront of collective liberation for all people? What's the story we've been told? And what's the new story we want to write together? You see, the rainbow has immense theological and spiritual importance in some of our earliest wisdom traditions, including those we uphold as part of the 6 sources in Unitarian Universalism. For the ancient Greeks and Romans, the rainbow was the visible form of the messenger goddess Iris. For some movements within Buddhism, the rainbow symbolizes the highest state a human being can reach before entering final enlightenment, or nirvana. For the indigenous people of North Queensland, Australia, it is a powerful serpent spirit which aids in the production of rain. It's a belief that dates back to at least 10,000 years. And similarly, in Ifa, an earth-based West African spiritual tradition, the rainbow is also a serpent deity, known as Oshumare, who is also depicted as gender fluid. The multicolored arch is also seen by some cultures as a pathway, a bridge, from one world to the next. In some Indonesian cultures, the rainbow is a bridge upon which souls journey toward the spiritual realm. And in Norse mythology, the rainbow connects the god realm and the human realm. And in one Japanese myth, it's a floating bridge on which the creator being molded land so that humanity and the rest of creation could flourish. And the rainbow was also seen as a tool in some traditions. In some strains of Hinduism, it was seen as the archer's bow, used by the god of thunder and war. And some ancient Arabic cultures also believe the rainbow to be a sacred bow for firing arrows in the form of lightning. And of course, I think you probably all know that story about leprechauns. I share this long list of spiritual understandings of the rainbow because they too create a beautiful tapestry of difference. When we hold them together in those differences, when we refuse to flatten their specificity, we see a bigger picture altogether, more bright and colorful. And because religion and spirituality has so often in our modern culture been a site of violence and mistrust for LGBTQ+ people, I think it's important for us to do that work of excavation, to peel back and uncover, and indeed recover, the ways our wisdom traditions have for many generations honored and affirmed the grand diversity of life, including the dimensions of sexuality and gender. Stating clearly that the symbol of pride, the rainbow, is not an appropriation, but in fact a reclamation. And what better place to continue this act of reclamation than within our own Unitarian Universalist roots? In one of our 6 wisdom sources as you use, the Hebrew Bible, we find the rainbow again, playing an important role. In one of the better-known stories in the book of Genesis, Noah is exiting his ark following the devastating flood on the earth. God comes to him, and in this passage, God says to Noah that the covenant, the promise of care and connection and faith between God and humanity, is not just for humanity. It's a commitment to a wider spectrum of life. The passage reads, "I am establishing my covenant with you and your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the domestic animals, and every animal of the earth with you, as many as came out of the ark." It continues, "When the rainbow is in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is on the earth." Rereading this passage in the last few years, I was bowled over. In this text, the rainbow is the symbol of covenant. It is our reminder from nature that we are called toward communal care, toward a shared promise to one another's flourishing, toward restorative justice, toward a commitment to love at every turn. And covenant is one of our bedrock theological values as you use. And it's texts like these where we can trace its roots. Certainly our faith movement's understanding of covenant has grown and evolved, but the essential ideas, a shared promise between humanity, the natural world, and the eternal, those remain. And it's within this promise in Genesis that we see again the belief in beauty with indifference. There is something prophetic, something so heartening and understanding that this first covenant is sealed with the symbol of the rainbow, a symbol that today has taken on new meanings, but at its essence is still calling us toward love, toward affirmation, toward beauty among difference. And despite our varying connections to this text, because I'm sure as many people in here, there are different connections to this text, I think its legacy of affirming interconnectedness in all of its beautiful, messy, colorful dimensions can be ongoing inspiration to us as you use. The rainbow here is fundamentally a symbol of connection, of intimate connection with one another and our world, across beautiful and blessed difference. And to forget that is perhaps one of our deepest flaws as human beings. But unfortunately, we do forget this holy reality. I've seen it time and again. You probably have too. Maybe you've experienced it yourself. Maybe a loved one has. Maybe at some point in your life, you've been the one doing the gatekeeping. So as I reflect on this, I think about the time I spent a few years ago, each week on Tuesdays, talking with undergraduate students, delving into the intersection of spirituality, religion, and queer identity. In those conversations, I heard story after story of the flaws of religious institutions: banishment, shame, violence. We engaged the suffering that religious institutions across traditions and expressions have caused. It was sometimes wrenching, sometimes hilarious, but the common refrain I heard from this diverse group of young people is this: they sent me away, but I still want to believe. These students yearned for the personal connections, the vibrant music, the spiritual growth, and perhaps most of all, the communal space to make meaning together. What brought me back to church and then to seminary was this very thing. I finished several years of Catholic schooling, came out as queer, dropped religion altogether. And then I slowly, cautiously, and anxiously crawled my way back as a young adult. And to be frank, I wasn't quite sure what was driving me to seek out church again. But I knew with certainty that what I had been doing up to that point was not working for me. And after that first service in that Unitarian Universalist church that offered a stronger sense of belonging than I had had in any other place in my life, I cried. I cried tears of relief, of surprise, of joy. I cried because I entered that space fully as myself, with all of my gifts and my flaws and my pieces of identity held together. And I was met with a welcome, with no caveats to it. A welcome that was full and complete and unabashed in its enthusiasm and reach. The wholeness that is me was treated as holy and sacred. My coming out had returned me to myself, and in that return, I also made my way back to that holiness buried deep within. That holiness that I learned was not supposed to be there. That holiness that had forced so far away, I could barely recover it. And yet there it was. There I was. There the divine spark was. And of course, church is not easy. Religious institutions, as we know, are flawed, deeply flawed, including this one, our shared tradition of Unitarian Universalism. I know the frustrations and the struggles are sometimes difficult to work through. But then there are days I remember that first sermon in that new church, and I remember how it made me feel. And I remember the looks on the faces of the students when I told them, yeah, I'm a minister too. And that their choice to leave faith altogether or to reimagine what it means to them is theirs to make. And any choice is going to be okay. Because their wholeness and holiness is theirs. It was never meant to be hidden or banished or stolen. we remind one another that wherever we go, that holiness remains. And in retracing the contours of ancient tradition and language, we do the holy work of restoration, of building our own rainbow bridge between the brokenness created by religiously fueled exclusion and the wholeness embedded within each one of us in our varied, colorful, and sacred existences. Church, there is still much work to be done. We know this. I don't need to list all the ways exclusion continues in ways big and small. But what also remains is the opportunity to write a new story in which people of faith, people like us, continue to re-examine the ways in which our shared traditions and sacred texts have been distorted to foment hatred and exclusion. We have the opportunity to live out the promises of wholeness, of connection, and of love embedded in our rainbow covenant. These are the opportunities before us. Somewhere over the rainbow where dreams really do come true. May each of us be bold enough to make it so. In closing, I want to share this rainbow flag blessing from Alex Swift. Let this banner be a symbol of hope, a blanket of protection for those who need it, a cape of power for those who must be empowered. Let this flag be a standard of our conviction to embody all of these things and to be the change we will upon the world. Let the will we weave to empower and protect be woven into this flag as we weave it into the world. With our blessing, let all love be sacred, all unions safeguarded, and all people free. May it be so, blessed be, and amen. You're welcome now to stand in body or spirit as we sing our closing hymn, Break Not the Circle, in your gray hymnal, number 323.
Break not the circle of enabling love, where people grow forgiven and forgiving. Break not that circle, make it wider still, till it includes, embraces all the living. Come wonder at this love that comes to life, where words of freedom are with humor spoken, and people keep no score of wrong and guilt, but will that human bonds remain unbroken? Join then the movement of the love that frees, till people of whatever race or nation will truly be themselves and on their feet, see eye to eye with laughter and elation.
Invite you to continue standing in body or spirit as we have now extinguished our chalice and we move to our closing prayer. I want to first share my gratitude with Terry, Jacqueline, Taryn, Hillary, and all of the volunteers and staff for creating this beautiful and connecting worship service this morning. It's always a joy to be with Throop on Sunday mornings. Now I invite you to place a hand on your heart, or if you feel comfortable, reach out to someone else in the room and hold their hand as I share the benediction. Church, may this be a time of recommitment toward love. May we be confronted by its embrace and inspired by its unceasing reach. May we continue the work of restoration and reclamation, bubbling more wholeness, healing, and connection into this world. May each rainbow we encounter call us back toward this promise of love. Go in peace. Blessed be, and amen.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Someday I'll wish upon a star, wake up with the clouds up behind me, where troubles smell like lemon drops, way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, and if they fly o'er the rainbow, why then why can't I? Birds fly over the rainbow, why then why can't I? Thank you.